Welcome! Thank you for joining us for today's lesson. This is part of a 13-lesson series brought to you by the Food Trust Nutrition Educators. The Food Trust works to ensure that everyone has access to affordable, nutritious food and the information to make healthy choices. In this series, we'll be covering topics such as how to shop at a farmer's market, stretching your food dollars, storing fruits and vegetables, and more. Join us every other week as we share nutrition information from My Plate, as well as tips and tricks to eating more healthy food at every meal. Each bi-weekly lesson will be followed by a recipe featuring a seasonal ingredient you can find at your local farmer's market or grocery store. Meet our nutrition educators, who you'll get to know through our lessons or recipe demonstrations. We're excited to have you with us. Thanks again for joining us. Please fill out our anonymous survey at the end of this video so that we can find out more about who we're reaching and how to serve our audience best. We hope you come back for our next lesson. See you then!
Hello, my name is Charlene, and I'm a nutrition educator here with the Food Trust. A little bit about us: we work hard to make sure people have access to delicious, nutritious food no matter where they live. We also provide nutrition education by using My Plate, which is the basis for every lesson that we teach. So here's just a little overview of the things you want to make sure that you know going forward as you watch our different lessons. For one, you'll notice that half of the plate contains fruits and vegetables. You want to keep this in mind for every single meal. Now, while it can be difficult to think for fruits for dinner and vegetables for breakfast, there are a lot of creative ways in which you can combine both of those to make something delicious as well as nutritious. As you watch our lessons, we'll give you some more ideas onto how to make that happen. Along with that, we're looking for 6 ounces of grains every single day. So that can be half of it whole grains and half of it are refined grains. Whole grains, for instance, are oatmeal, brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat bread. Those are great sources of a nice whole grain. Now, of course, we'll explain a little bit more as to why that's good for us, but you want to keep in mind, first things first, is that it's really great for our hearts. So when you are choosing your grains, you want to make half of your grains whole, meaning that 3 ounces of the day, you want to try to make sure you're getting a whole grain, and you'll find balance between the ones that you like and the refined grains that you prefer. Along with that, we're looking for 6 ounces of protein daily. With 6 ounces of protein, we want to make sure that we want to mix up how we get our protein. There are 2 types: animal-based protein and plant-based protein. With animal-based protein, it provides a great source of iron, which is super awesome for our bodies, but it doesn't provide any fiber. Versus plant-based protein, where the iron is a little bit harder to digest, but it provides us with fiber. That's when you want to make sure you're getting a nice balance of both. When you're choosing the size of meat, you want it to be the size of your palm of your hand. When you're choosing your plant-based protein, you want to at least get like a cup of beans, maybe even a 4th cup of nuts and seeds. Just make sure you're reading the labels and see what serving size is going to work for your protein goals. Last thing we have is dairy. With dairy, we want to make sure we're getting 3 cups of it daily. This is a great source of calcium. But if you don't eat dairy products for whatever reason, there are other options as well. There's non-dairy milk, there's kale, and other dark leafy green vegetables that count as a vegetable on My Plate, but also counts as our calcium source as well. So you can kind of Get 2 different food groups covered with 1 vegetable. Along with that, there's even fortified orange juice as well as fortified bread that'll have calcium in it. So if you choose to eat dairy products, milk, cheese, and yogurt. If you choose to eat non-dairy milk, dark leafy green vegetables, and fortified products. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's lesson. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Jen.
And we're SNAP-Ed nutrition educators from the Food Trust. We're excited to be with you today to talk about the benefits of meal planning.
Do you consider yourself to be a meal planner, or are you more of a spur-of-the-moment planner? What are some of the benefits of meal prepping and meal planning?
Some of the benefits are you can save money because when you go into the market with a plan, you can buy what you have planned versus what looks good at the time. You can also eat healthier because if you plan based off of the My Plate, then you can have all the necessary foods that you need to eat. You can also waste less food because if you plan to eat what you already have, then you won't waste it.
Now, if you're new to meal planning, here are some tips to make it easier. Plan ahead and make meals simple. Cook when you have more time and freeze your leftovers. Pre-wash and pre-cut some of your ingredients ahead of time so you spend less time preparing the meal. Shop for time savers like pre-cut veggies if it's in your budget. Now, a quick note, partially prepared food and pre-cut items generally cost more.
How often do you have a full sit-down meal at home? Having a few healthy items on hand can make eating a healthy, balanced diet easy and economical, no matter how much time you have or what kind of lifestyle you live.
One thing that can make meal planning easier is having staple foods on hand, like pasta, canned goods, or frozen items. You can also keep produce on hand that lasts a long time, things like potatoes, carrots, and onions. For instance, if you have dry pasta, a can of sauce, and some meat frozen, you will always have a dinner on hand. What are some staple foods you keep at your home?
So just following some of the tips, I've gone ahead and put together a bag of groceries. So let's find out what I have in my bag. So for starters, I have some eggs, I have some yogurt, some rice, some pasta, my fruit, which is going to be my bananas, and then some vegetables. I got tomatoes, some cucumbers, some salad greens, and then I also got some almonds. So this is what I had in my bag of groceries. So do you know what food groups these all belong in? So like we like to talk about My Plate, we want to make sure that half of our plate are fruits and vegetables. So I have my category filled out right here. Remember that when you're meal planning and you're using the My Plate guideline, you tend to eat healthier because you're planning for every food group to be in your meals. And then over here I mentioned I have my pasta as well as my rice, which fits into our grains category. And then for my dairy, I have yogurt. And then for my protein group, we have some eggs as well as some almonds. So just using these ingredients, I can probably just make a salad for lunch using my cucumbers, my tomato, and my greens. Maybe for breakfast, I can have some yogurt with some fruit and then also some almonds. So that way you're trying to incorporate as many food groups as possible in all of your meals. Maybe for dinner, you want to make some pasta or stir fry and add some eggs. So those are just some ways that you can meal plan and shop for the items that you need when you're going grocery shopping.